Next this evening, we bring you the second part of our special report on how the terror of last summer's riot is still affecting women from diverse communities. Research commissioned by the Angelou Centre charity, based on the testimonies of women and children from ethnic minorities living in the region, reveals rising levels of public hate, leaving many feeling vulnerable, scared and exposed. Sharuna Sagar has been to meet a group of women who are finding creativity is helping them deal with the trauma of growing racism.
নারী নারী তুমি আত্মবিশ্বাসী হও, উদ্যমী হও, শক্তিশালী হও। নিজেকে সুরক্ষিত
Parvin recites a poem she wrote in Bengali to inspire local ladies to stay strong. They meet regularly at Sangini, a community project in South Shields. Among them, 21-year-old Naseba. Last year, on the day the riots broke out in her home city of Sunderland, she was assaulted on her way to work by two masked men in hoodies.
The first thing they asked me was if I was a Muslim. When I didn't respond, they got mad. The first man, he grabbed my neck from behind. The other one was still swearing and saying, you know, go back to your country, why are you here? And things like that, you know, the usual stuff. Even now, I can't go out alone. I feel so afraid. I thought I was gonna, you know, die that day.
Is this the first time that you've spoken about your attack?
Yeah, this is my first time telling the story.
Where were you last summer? Sounds like a perfectly innocent question, doesn't it? But it's actually deeply disarming and subversive because it refers to the rioting and the civil unrest that happened right here in Sunderland a year ago.
This is one of my favorite pieces that I created for this exhibition.
So these are the barricades that the police put up?
That's right.
At Washington Arts Centre, they're giving a voice to the experiences of South Asian women.
These are ordinary women. Sometimes they themselves were attacked, and making sure that the household was still running while all of that unrest was going on. But their stories are not heard anywhere. Their stories are largely invisible. And this is what this exhibition is about. We have to make space for these stories because this is part of that bigger picture.
Meanwhile, at the Angelou Centre in Newcastle, art workshops are helping some traumatised women to heal.
This is my square. Why do I have to hide away?
Why did you ask that question?
It's always at the back of my mind. Why? Where does this come from, this hatred?
So today we're doing words. It's about what you felt during the riots or what you feel now if you think it.
You wrote down terrified on a piece of paper there. Why did you choose that word?
Because I'm very terrified everywhere I go. I fear for my life. Even when you go in a bus, there's a seat next to you. No one wants to sit next to you because of your color. Literally, when I got onto the bus today and I saw people around me, it breaks me down because I feel unsafe sometimes.
Last summer, the scale, speed and level of violence of the disorder caught some authorities off guard. Their initial response has come under criticism for sidelining and excluding women from the conversation and consulting almost exclusively with male community leaders.
We're not saying that they shouldn't, they must. But how about the other half of the community? We had to fight our way in, we women-led organizations, to explain to them the needs and the priorities of women and the gendered impacts of the riots on women and children, because no one in that room had that lived experience.
It became quite apparent to us early on we weren't necessarily talking to the women within the black and minoritized community, and we needed to do that. So I'm not surprised at the anger there. What I will say is that from this office, we tried very hard during that period and subsequently to make sure we did engage with women and girls from those communities and not just through the community leaders.
Cleveland Police and Crime Commissioner Matt Story says, "It saddens me to hear that anyone feels scared to leave their homes. With the help of local partners, we've done some fantastic work supporting victims and building community cohesion, and that work won't stop." With anti-immigration protests and hate crime on the rise, campaigners say their message is clear: put the security of women and children at the heart of policy instead of them being on the front line of fear.
We know it's going to happen again. It's happening already.
No matter if I was brought up here in South Shields, I'm not welcomed here. I just feel like people are watching you differently.
People came to this country for the good future, but the thing happened that night, and we feel like we are not safe in the UK anymore.
Sharuna Sagar reporting there. And if you've been affected by any issues in that report, help is available on the BBC Action Line.